Welcome, friends, back to the Brilliance of Humanity Summit. We have been having a blast featuring these incredible individuals who are shining in their brilliance. Thanks for being a part of this journey with us. And speaking of brilliance, I am thrilled to be welcoming to today's summit Lula. Lula, welcome to the Brilliance of Humanity Summit.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited.
Well, we need to let people know that you are going to be talking about this universal language, and you and I would call that universal language a music,
Yes,
right?
100%. 100%. Music is huge. Music is the thing that connects people on a deeper level. And so yeah, I'm excited.
Oh my gosh. I'm so thrilled that you said yes and gave your yes to being here. And one of the things that you and I were talking about as we were preparing is that music does truly connect us. And it is truly a language that no matter who you are, where you are, there is a connection around music. And I'm just looking at you going, how did you learn this is this something you just always knew innately from the time you were a child, or is this something you've developed?
That's a really good question. I think it's something I developed. So like I started just really I loved songs. I loved the way they were structured. I loved like singing. I loved all of that kind of stuff. And when I grew older and I was performing for people and I noticed that there are certain songs that I did that got people's attention more and I kind of wondered about that. But not only got their attention more, it felt like I knew that person more, like the way they looked at me or the way they applauded at the end or something. I used to do like the little state fair like competitions and stuff and uh, I just I and then it started feeling like, okay, these songs that really speak loud, why do they speak loud? And then that's kind of when it sunk in that, you can connect with people just off of Turning Tables by Adele or like Little Beat Me by Little Mix, like these songs that mean so much to me that mean so much to other people too. So that it kind of got started that way a little bit.
So let's talk a little bit about you as a musician
Mm-hmm.
because you play piano, you play guitar, you write your own music. Talk to me about what inspires you to these places.
Like places of writing music.
Yeah, and playing and all the things.
Um, I want to connect with people. Like I love connecting with people and I love connecting with people through my passion. And if I could write a song that I know speaks, because when I write songs, I usually write on like a personal experience or a feeling that I'm having. And if it's a feeling that's too big for me to put into words, I put it into a song. And that usually, and that can go on and connect with other people. I've heard it go on and connect with other people. So it's kind of nice because we can all be here like, hey, I'm feeling this way too. You're completely normal. Like you're normal, I'm normal. We're human, So that's kind of how I go to those places a little bit.
Lula, what I love that you're speaking to is if you're writing from that personal experience, someone else out there has that personal experience. And whether we live where we live or miles away, people have these same experiences. They have these same emotions that they experience. And I think that might be one of the reasons that music connects us is that it's the emotion piece of what we experience through life that
Yeah.
really starts to be the connector with the music.
And emotions aren't talked about too much, especially like in this culture today. Emotions are very, swept aside. And so I think it's important to acknowledge, I know you have these emotions. It's okay that you have these emotions. Now, how do we deal with it at the end of the day? And like with music specifically, I like to say that it's a handshake. It's a secret handshake. It because I went to the MIM a while ago, the National Music Museum in Arizona, and just going and walking in there knowing that years and years in different countries, there's hundreds of different countries that have been doing music almost the same. And then they share music with each other. And it's all just in this one museum and you're sitting there like it's huge. But you can understand. Like there's certain songs that might not be in your language, but you can understand the feeling just because there's different keys that make you understand, but sometimes they don't have the same structure as English music. So it's beautiful how wide music can be.
I love this. And what I also am enjoying about this is It's about connecting to the heart and soul space. It's
Hmm.
like a beautiful permission to get out of our head for just a minute and really connect into the heart and soul. And I almost wonder, I could maybe put a little vote down that a little more heart and soul space may actually bring humanity more together.
100%. I believe that because I know that music definitely gets people in a happier space or just like in more of a calmer space. And it does bring people together. I know people that have do not like Toxic by Britney Spears, but then I've played it on stage and they're talking to the person next to them about how, oh, what is this song? And then they start sparking up a conversation and leave with a friend. So it's kind of one of those things. I mean, Toxic is a very not emotionally heavy song, but music is a place where people can be calm. It's a sanctuary. And so without realizing it, people at a store could just be calmer because a certain song is on.
Yeah, it's so true, and how it does influence and affect our behavior, our actions. I think about like going to a rock concert, right? All of a sudden I'm
Yep.
like, oh, I'm a little more amped up. Or then there's the meditation. It's like, okay, it's time to calm down. And just the way that our brain responds to the music, right? The way our
Mhm.
hearts respond. And I think about this whole vagal nervous system. Of course, that makes sense, right? For
Yeah.
the way that music would
Yeah.
respond. Talk to us about this experience of performing for other people. Like, what lights you up about it?
I think hmm, it's my passion for sure. It's something that I look forward to every time it comes. Um, what really gets me about performing with people is how I get to talk to these people. I get to connect with these people on such a deeper level because I'm sharing my originals up there. My originals are very vulnerable, very raw sometimes, and it feels like that like it gets greeted with a very welcoming nature. Um, and so then I'll have like people come up to me and talk to me, and and I make a connection. And we don't just talk about music the whole time, but it starts by talking about music and like, hey, I really liked your song finally, and it connected with me this way, like, and then we get talking about, their niece or their nephew or something like that. I just recently had a family come to, I was at Bismarck at Laughing Sun, and I marketed a lot for that, and they saw my name somewhere, and they came specifically to see me. I had never played in Bismarck before, simply because their daughter's name was Lula. That's my, it's me. So I thought that was really, really nice, and just knowing that I could connect with people that way. Or when people ask me, "Hey, do you know this song?" and I can light up their day just by playing one of the songs that they love live. So it's just a way to bring in happiness. It's a way to bring in togetherness and to share something a little bit beyond myself.
I love that because one of the things I'm really fascinated by is how songs can spark conversation. And that's what you're speaking to. Like when you are writing, you are creating an opportunity to have that conversation. And I think we both talked about how the healing conversation is what humanity needs right now, right?
Yes, very much so.
And if a
Very much.
song could lead them there, right? Like that's a thing. Like if we can help that as musicians, like it's a thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of people against each other. And I notice that when I'm playing, I mean, even I have musicians around me that I go to their gigs. When they're playing, things are just peaceful and people are connecting over this one thing. Like, oh, there's this musician playing right now. Like, that's pretty cool. They did a good song here. And then they get into a conversation and it leads, so it's definitely something that connects people and makes people go beyond what their limits are, I should say.
Oh my gosh, it's so true. And what I also wanted to ask you about is, I mean, not everybody can sing, right? Not everybody can write.
I
So,
would say everybody could sing. It just depends on tonality.
yeah, okay, okay, that's true. Everybody can open their mouth and get something out. Whether or not it's in tune, that may be a different conversation, right? And
Yeah.
also, there's different forms of music than just singing.
Hmm. There's
There's
that. I'm Native American as well, so it's this part of what I do is wanting to share music on such a spiritual level because a lot of my culture is spiritual, and so it's funny because there's the guttural singing, and I can't figure out how to do it, but it is one of my favorite things to listen to, and it's
Mm.
gorgeous, and it truly like I want everybody to go and listen to that because it's one of the, it's it the human body is amazing. Singing is the science behind it is amazing,
It,
and it's also just gorgeous that they can still go out there and do their guttural singing, and it can be recorded and put out there, and yeah, it's gorgeous.
and also such a piece of culture,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like there's so much more to that. And, I enjoy listening to the Native American drumming. Like for me,
Yes.
it's like
Yeah.
the mama's heartbeat. It's like when I'm there, if I'm at a powwow or maybe just even on the radio, but it's like, it's almost like I feel like my heart can connect to that beat. And it's so unique and so like, I'm going to use the term sacred. It's,
Ooh, I like that. Sacred. Yeah.
it's almost like a sacred space. And so I love that you just brought that into this because and each culture may have a component of what that is, right?
Mhm.
And and what I love is that there is a connection there. That beat, the beat of music, right? The beat of what the messaging is, the beat of the sacredness. Like there's just, oh my gosh, it's so juicy. It's so good. It's so good. Well, I know one thing when we have musicians on, people love to hear a little bit of what you do for music. And I am just wondering, so talk a little bit about some of the songs that you put together and what's calling to you right now to maybe share a little bit with us.
So I've got a few. So the songs that I have on Spotify, under like the Butterfly EP, they were recorded in Boston, which was a once in a lifetime scenario. It was the most amazing time of my life. But they were all songs that I wrote when I was like 18 and 19, and when I was feeling very different things than what I'm feeling now. Um, so right now my process is a lot different than what I have out. I'm working on a new album, and I sit and I feel what I feel, but I don't sit in it. I put it into something, and there's sometimes where I'm go through a situation and I'm like, I wonder if other people have gone through this situation, so I'll write a song about it. Um, and I mentioned it earlier, but I'll play my a little bit of my song finally, and it's kind of about when you realize that you've become someone that you don't recognize, and you're ready to get back into being you again. So it's 12:30 and I've been up, no sight of sleep for a while. I've been looking for all the wrong I've done since I was a child. Somehow it brought me here to face the room you left for me so bare. It's all I know. These limits confided within all their moments. I can't let go of all that it could be. It's all just a memory. Maybe I should take back what's mine. Maybe then I'll walk this dotted line.
Oh my
Day number
God.
one, give me a break
Yay.
on the voice.
Yay.
Thank
Yay.
you.
Oh my gosh. I'm sitting back here like I wanted to get on my drumstick. Till the end with well,
See,
and
that's another thing. That's another thing about connecting people with music is there's this musical bone that everybody has, whether people think they're good or not. It doesn't matter about if you're good or not. It's about what you can bring to the piece. And if you're bringing something, you're bringing a whole different world, a whole different perspective. So yeah, it's funny. Also, it's 8 a.m., so don't mind my voice here.
Yeah. So I thought you sounded amazing. I was thinking like
Thanks.
these some really super
And I was like, oh yeah, it's
oh my
8
God,
a.m.
she
I
does some
definitely
really
feel it.
cerebral things with her voice. Like I'm thinking, yeah, hello. Like you got interviewed her first. I want that to be recorded. You got interviewed first. You're performing. And this is also what I love is that you're coming live to us from your living room.
Yeah, literally.
And I love this, right? Like, again, it's just we can connect with this anywhere. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be on a stage, it doesn't have to be in a coffee shop. It can be right here, right now. And as you were singing, first of all, I could so feel your heart, right? I could just so feel it. And you're right. I did have that sense of like, oh, there's a little harmony. I could hear the harmony. And oh, there's a sense of, oh, my little drum thing. Like it was like that desire to be a part of that bigger piece, right?
Yeah.
And at the same time, I felt myself just wanting to sit back and go, oh my gosh, you are so shining in your brilliance. Like you are so shining in your brilliance. And what a gift and talent.
Thank you. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you.
Like, like our world needs more of this, right? This is what we need. And I believe that it's what humanity needs.
Yeah. Finally, I personally, finally is the song that really got me because I was in this like lull for a while. And I was like, wow, like I don't think I'm acting the way that I want to act. I don't think I'm being who I want to be. And that is the song that I want to put forth to a lot of people because it has connected to a lot of people and it has brought them into this sense of like, yeah, like I agree, like I felt that before. And so I, instead of like striving to like, I want to do music for the rest of my life because I want to connect with people. I want to give people what music was to me. That's my main goal. It was a sanctuary. It was a place to go. It was an understanding, and I would love to give that to somebody else. If it's just one other person, at least it's one person. You know.
Yeah. I'm curious if there's like as you think about some of the performances you've done, I know you just mentioned the recent thing in Bismarck, but have there been other times where you just felt that connection, like you just knew when you knew when you knew?
Yeah, so I was at Broadway Square in downtown Fargo. It was Music at the Square, I think it was the first one of the summer. And it was the first time I was playing at the Square. And so I was really excited because it was kickstarting my summer of gigs. And I go up there and it's already just like, I already feel like, okay, this is a nice crowd. The guy before me, like they were interested in him. So I was like, great, like this is awesome. And I get up there, I play one song, and I tend to close my eyes during songs. So I open them again, and I just see phones. I just see phones galore staring right at me, like they're taking like videos, and I'm sitting. I've never had that before in my life, and I'm like, this is a little weird. Like some people are recording me right now, and then I had an hour, and throughout that hour, they were very responsive. They were very connected to me, and in turn, I was very connected to them. I had been connected to them since I got in the Square. It was, I think, to this day, one of my favorite performances I've ever done. And then afterwards, I just was like, I was able to talk to so many people and connect with so many people, and really just, it was very special. It was very special. And just knowing that, I got up there and I started playing, and got connected with all these people, connected people with each other. Like I saw them dancing, I saw them talking to other people, like they were having a good time, and it was great. It was really great to be a part of that experience.
Mm. You know what I love about what you're saying here is that there's so many levels to the experience. Like this connection is people are connecting to themselves. They're connecting with others. They're connecting with you. They're ultimately connecting with this bigger scope of humanity.
I think people are very much in their heads a lot and can't see like beyond their noses because like, oh, what am I doing? Like they're looking at me. We're in a very judgmental society sometimes, and I think just getting beyond yourself and being comfortable with yourself. If there's a song that a musician is playing, like there's the the Dust Croppers and Fargo, if they're playing something and you really can, that makes you feel confident, it makes you feel good, you're gonna act confident and you're gonna do good. And so I think that is one of the most powerful things about music because it kind of leads the way. It tells you it's okay, feel this way, and do what you want to do, you
Oh my
know?
gosh, yes. 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 So I'm curious about when you go to write, you talked about it working from personal experiences. Is there a process that you go through? Like, do you put little sticky notes up about it or does it just flow out at once? Like, talk to us about that process.
It comes out. It comes out. So I am not an organized songwriter. I do not organize anything. Honestly, all of the songs that I have written on notes, like I have a notebook and also like on my phone, and I literally just play I just memorize what I do on guitar. I just memorize what I do on piano. Um and then like I can notate. I like composing music as well. And so when it comes to my compositions, like my symphonies and like orchestral pieces, that I'm very organized with because there's rules you have to follow, which I don't follow them because you don't have to follow rules in music, but sometimes you have to. Anyway, it's more so of a feeling. So if I'm writing like a lyrical, like a Lula song, then I'm definitely tapping into something I've been pushing away. I'm definitely tapping into a deeper sense, or I create a story. If I have nothing that's really bothering me, I create a story and I put it down on paper. Um, so I'll start with lyrics, and sometimes I like to get, sorry, I'm stumbling over here. I like to get the first like verse done, and then I'll add guitar or I'll add piano. Kind of depends on how I'm feeling about the song. I tend to switch. Um, and then I'll start writing with the guitar or with the piano. But
Do you have a preference of writing with guitar or piano?
not really. It kind of just it happens when it happens. So I a lot of my songs right now are on guitar. I'm excelling in guitar more than I have been in the past. I'm practicing a lot. I'm getting better, and so I feel like I'm more connected to it that way. Just I want to learn more. Piano is definitely like when I want a very heavy like instrumental piece, I know I can sit on the piano and make a heavy instrumental piece. Or I know that I can make a very jazzy piece. If I'm doing jazz, I will do piano, like hands down. But it kind of just however I'm feeling about the song. And sometimes I'll start writing a song on guitar and I'll go, this is a piano song. Like Turning It Off, one of my songs that I have on the EP, started on piano. And I was like, this is a guitar song. So it just kind of how I feel about the song
Yeah.
makes it piano or guitar.
Yeah, I love that. And there's a couple of things that you said that just sort of kind of like want to double click on. And one is what you're creating. I worked with this great mentor once who talked about like if you're feeling stuck in life or you can't move past something, create something, whether it's a song or it's a piece of art or whatever that create looks like to you. And that's what you're really speaking to here. Like that creation or what you're creating, it's movement, right? And I'm also like, there's a connection to that to me, to the humanity piece, right? When
Yeah.
we are creating as a society, there's movement. When we create, we can help build the humanity piece, right? Because we don't get stuck.
Mm-hmm.
So this is, I feel like that's another way that you're contributing to this humanity piece, right? Like it's just so real. The other thing I just want to double click on is when you said, yeah, there's these rules sometimes, but like you don't really have to do that because it's music, you can create what you want. I remember when I was in Nashville once, one of the writers I was working with said, you have to know the rules. And once you know them and you know the system, then you can break it. So I love that you brought that up because you're talking about the orchestral. Yeah, when you have all the strings with you, it probably is a good idea to know what the score looks like. And also, let's flow within it, right?
Yes, yes. So there's a lot of rules. I love that though. I love that you have to know the rules to break them, because the thing that I am big on is if you are going to break the rules, especially if you're writing orchestral and if you're writing like classical pieces and
Right.
like symphonies and stuff, those have like actually do have rules. But if you're going to break the rules, do it intentionally, and it creates big moments. It creates a big feeling and it creates something new. And that is what I love about it because, yes, I know I should probably end in an authentic cadence, but I'm not going to. Like, I don't feel like it. I like the sound of this, so this is how it's going to be. And yeah, so I love that. Especially if it's like more on the classical side, which I don't do as often, but I do love writing symphony pieces. So.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It just, there's like so much more to come from you. Like you're just getting started. I mean, you've been starting, but like I can already see it, right? Here's you on the stage, here's the orchestra going, and here's you performing your original works. It's just going to be absolutely incredible. It's just going to be amazing. And you
Thank you.
already are amazing. So like,
Thank
oh
you.
my gosh, let's just celebrate that too. So I know we're going to be kind of winding down here with our interview, but is there anything else you want to share on the guitar piano with our audience? Maybe just a little snippet of something, maybe a little
Um,
teaser of anything.
yeah, sure. I'll switch over to piano here. Um, I am working on a single for the album that's going to come out, and I don't really know what song that's going to be, but it might be this one. I don't know. But yeah. Sun sets perfectly onto your ocean, and I've been silently drowning for one more moment. I've got you. I can't believe that this is my truth. I have you. Every time you call me, every time you find me, I am yours to take. I'll be running through the doors just for one moment more of who you are today. I'll walk with you and find them all. We'll watch the sun go down before we part.
Oh my gosh,
So that's
Lula. I
that's
am just,
talking about movement.
oh my gosh, a song really moved me. I can just feel can just feel it. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, I cried writing that one. That one,
I can feel it. Like I literally
yeah.
am.
Yeah.
I know we're interviewing, so I'm kind of like trying to hold myself a little bit together. If I were not on this,
Sorry for making you cry.
I,
I didn't mean
no, oh
to.
my gosh, please do not apologize. Are you kidding me? What a blessing to feel something,
Yeah, you're
right?
right. You're right.
Like what a
Yeah.
blessing to feel. And that's what I really love about what you just played is that it gives us permission to feel.
Mhm.
And in a society that has such a hard time getting in touch with their emotions and giving themselves permission to feel, that's what the song gives us, right? It's the permission to feel, the
Yeah.
permission to heal, the permission to simply be.
Yeah. And that's how I've always viewed writing music. It gives me permission to put something out there and make my feelings known and heard without sitting in them and stewing on them for sure.
Well, and what I love is like you're giving voice to something that
Hmm.
deserves voice, that deserves a moment, right? And oh my gosh, I can't even wait till you have that out in completion and it's out for us to be able to actually download. I mean, wow, just wow, wow, wow. Lula, I mean, it feels like the time has gone so fast. We should let people know that, as with all of our guests, we have a little something that'll be coming in an email. And I believe for you, it's going to be the Butterflies song, correct?
Yes, it's going to be the EP to my butterfly. So there'll be four separate songs that they'll be able to stream.
Oh my gosh. How amazing is that? What a beautiful gift. Lula, I am envisioning that people are going to be following you after this interview, and you're going to be getting calls for gigs and people wanting to talk to you more. I cannot underscore enough what a beautiful gift to humanity you are. You are truly shining in your brilliance. And I just feel so honored that you were a part of this Brilliance of Humanity Summit. You have got so much more coming. You are.
I feel honored for being asked. And you as well. You shine so bright. Like just sitting here and just, I mean, for the little time that I've known you, it's been just one thing after another. It's a tide floats all boats in your head. And it's great. Thank you for thinking of me. I appreciate it so much.
Oh my gosh, you are so welcome. So, friends, we want to just give an extra thank you to Lula for joining us today, sharing her brilliance with us. We hope that you've been enjoying this Brilliance of Humanity Summit. So much more to come. And Lula, thanks again for being here
Thank
today.
you guys. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.